All the math, new numbers are in, and they show that once again, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is the world's busiest airport. But is it though? As Atlanta News First reporter Joshua Skinner tells us, not every airport agrees on what the term busiest airport actually means.
Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is once again the busiest airport in the world. According to the Airport Council International, ATL herded 106.3 million passengers through its doors in 2025, 11 million ahead of second place Dubai. And that means Atlanta News First can continue uttering our favorite phrase.
At the world's busiest airport.
Long lines at the world's busiest airport.
Frustration at the world's busiest airport.
But it's notable for reasons beyond bragging rights and script filler. Referring to itself online as Georgia's economic jewel, Hartsfield-Jackson brings in an estimated $66 billion in annual economic impact.
That helps us recruit so many companies. Then they want to know about infrastructure. Hartsfield, the ports in Savannah and Brunswick, incredibly important.
But here's the catch. While ATL lays claim to being the busiest airport in America, so does another American airport.
Enter Chicago O'Hare, which came in 6th place in passengers, but first in number of flights. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson released a statement yesterday saying, in part, being home to the busiest airport in the world is a point of pride for every Chicagoan. Hartsfield-Jackson representatives did not respond to requests for interview or comment, but everything else at Hartsfield this Wednesday? Efficient. At the world's busiest airport, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
I'm still calling Atlanta the world's busiest airport.
Absolutely.
All right.